Hi everybody, and welcome back to the second section of the course where we're going to work on our game project. So in this first lesson we're going to create the parts and just a small sort of environment for us to create our game in. Now we're starting with a fresh blank base plate project, so you can go ahead and open that up and we'll come up to File and Save As. And on your desktop or wherever you want to save it, we're going to create a new folder there, and we'll call this our Roblox game project folder. And inside of this folder, we will create another folder for our local files. And then we can, now I'll just use a Roblox game project and then _0.0.1 to get started with. Alright, and that creates our first version where we're going to create the parts and models we'll use in the game. Alright, now using my indicator up here, I'm going to make sure I create this so that the back's facing towards me and I'm working in front of my spawn point here. And we'll go ahead and create, to begin with, a part. So just add a part into the workspace, and we'll change the name of our part to be the game base part. Alright, and now we'll change the, first thing we'll do is come down, right down in the properties, and we want to anchor the part. So we don't want it to move around when the players run on top of it. And we can leave can touch and can collide on as well. Now, just a couple of rules for while we're working through the project. When I set sizes for things and use names in the coding, I strongly advise that you stick to those while you're going through the course so that it matches. When it comes to changing the color, so for example, I'm going to make mine a grass type color here. So we'll go parsley green, but you can choose any colors you like or materials. Okay, so material down here, I'm going to set mine to be leafy grass. All right, and then we want to scroll down to the size, and in here we're going to make this quite big. So set this as 100 wide and then a comma, and we'll make it half a stud high, a comma, and 100 big. So we've got a big tile that we are now working on. Alright, so our game is going to be constructed within this. Alright, so that's our first part. Now let's create the main feature of our game. So we'll add another part in here, and we'll change this part's name just to be tile. Alright, and we won't change its color just at the moment, but we will scroll down and change anchored so that it's true, so the part is anchored inside, and we'll come back up here and we will change the size, and we'll make this one 8 by 0.5 by 8. Now the material, as I said, you can choose what material you want to go with. You can leave it just as plastic at the moment if you like, but I think I'll change mine to be marble. Alright, so just to give it a little bit of texture. Okay, now this one part here, we're going to do lots of things with this, and for the beginning part of the course we're just using this one tile to begin with, but we will end up having lots of these tiles within the game. So that's the beginning tile to start off with. So we can we might just move it just over here out of the way while we construct the rest of our parts. Alright, in this game we're going to create an elevator. Now because elevator is quite a long word, I'm going to refer to the elevator as a lift instead, because 4-letter word typing in code is much easier than elevator. So, but we're going to create a model of an elevator. So up the top we will create another part, and it's going to be basically the same part, same as this one over here, except we'll change a couple of things. So we'll call this the slide. So this will be the part that will move, all right, in our elevator or our lift. And down the bottom here, let's change the material, and we'll make it, I'm going to go with diamond plate to make it look quite solid. And we might leave the colour as it is at the moment, and come down to, once again, we'll set anchored to true. Now when we actually come to code this, we'll want to turn this off, but for now we'll just leave it anchored. And we'll change the size to match our tile as well, I think. So up here we'll change the size to be 8, 0.5, 8, and that's the slide part of our lift or elevator. Alright, and we'll create another part now and just move it over to the left, and we'll make this one, we'll change this name to be the shaft. So this is the part that's this slide will move up and down. And let's change, might make its color just a bit darker for now, and we'll change its material to also be diamond plate. And we'll come down and make sure that anchored is turned on. And now for the size, we will actually make this just 2 by, and we'll make it 20 high by 2, so that it's quite tall, and slide it up till it's just sitting on top of the ground here. All right, and I'll just turn off move so I can move this nicely over next to our elevator shaft, and spin my camera around. And just, you don't have to be spot on just at the moment, but as long as you've got the two parts sitting close together like that, then we are good to go. Alright, now these two parts will form a model. So with one of them selected, hold down Command or Control and then click on the other part. We'll right click and we're going to group as a model. Alright, and we can just change the name of this to be lift model. Okay, so now we've got a lift model in here, and the last thing we're going to create for our game will be a bit of a guide as to, I'll just move my spawn point back a little bit out of the way, a bit of a guide that will go around the outside of this to show where the lift's going to come down so that players can see it. And we'll use a different kind of part up here for that. So up the top under model, on the drop down, we will pick a wedge, right, and just move it over so that it's on one side of your model, and you can come in and focus. And then we will scale this so that it matches the length here, so just about, and then we'll come into the size and change that in a moment. So down here, see in the size, we'll make that exactly 8 so that it matches the width. Right, and let's scale this, and we'll scale it out a little bit because it's going to be sort of a ramp that the player can run up, and then bring the height up just a bit. All right, so you can round them off if you like there, so that they are 8 by say 2, and the last one 8. So 8 by 2 by 8, let's say. Whoops. 8. There we go. Now it doesn't have to sit right on the edge, so if it's away from here a little bit, that's fine. And now we'll come in and change our anchored to be true, and we'll also set change our material. I'm going to go with diamond plate again. I'll just leave this as grey. Now we will actually be using different colours for these a bit later, so it's not too important just at the moment to worry about that. And once we've got this set and the size and everything, we're going to duplicate this. So you can use Command D, which on mine at the moment is not working very well. So if I right click and come up to duplicate, I'm going to use Command or Control R and hit it twice, and then use the move tool to move this to the other side so that we have a matching one there. Alright, so about a couple of studs away on either side is good. And then what we'll do is we will select both of these and then right click and duplicate. And while you've got them both selected, just Command R or Control R, and it should rotate around like such, so that we've got like a box around our slide. Alright, and the last thing that we want to do is highlight all of these wedges and right click and group them as a model, and we'll call this our ramp model, and then drag that inside of your lift model. So we've got the model inside a model, and that way we can now move the whole lift around as one model. Alright, so we'll drag it over here and just drag your tile back in front of your spawn point, and we are good to go. Now I'm just going to, with my spawn point, it's big and quite ugly, so I'm going to delete that out of there, and my spawn point I'm going to change the size of it to make it a bit smaller. Where are we? There we go. So we might make it just fairly small, 4 by 0.5 by 4, and it's just gone down a little bit, so we'll just bring it up. And I might change its material as well, and I'll make it pebbles. Okay, and I think I'll set this to be, I don't know, some, let me see, we'll actually use the brick colour, and I'll just make it a brown type of colour. However, you can do whatever you like. You can even make it transparent if you like and make it disappear. And that is all the parts and models that we're going to use in the game. It may not seem very exciting just yet, but I'm sure you'll get a kick out of it once we get started. So before we end the video, come up to File and Save As, and increase your version to number 2. Alright, and we are good to go for the next video, so I shall see you there.